Hi everybody, and welcome to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. For today's video, I've got some really interesting posts, and the first one has an update. If you want to get to the stories, just use the timestamps below the video. And as usual, at this point, I would like to thank all of you that support me, either as Twitch subscribers or YouTube members, or even when you donate during the live streams. Thank you so much, your support means a lot to me. And if this is the first time watching one of my videos and you like it, then consider subscribing to the channel and joining us on Discord. Now let's get started with today's stories. This post is from the subreddit Relationships, and it's from user ThrowArrayGGIO91122. My 20 female friend, 20 female, tried to hook up with my boyfriend, 22 male, a few weeks ago, and he didn't tell me about it. A friend of mine tried to hook up with my boyfriend. He turned her down, but I'm sussed out by the fact that he didn't tell me. I only found out from my boyfriend's friend who was there when it happened. He thought that my boyfriend already told me about it, since it was her who hit on him and he turned her down and there was no reason to hide it. I confronted my boyfriend about it later, and he said he didn't want to ruin our friendship and that he told her if she didn't stop being weird, he'll tell me. He says he wanted to give her a shot at saving the friendship. I already decided that I'm done being friends with her because I don't want friends that would do something like that. Besides, I've always thought she had a thing for him anyway. She thinks that just because they met first, that means she's entitled to him or something. I don't need that kind of BS in my life. So if he had told me, I would have cut her off immediately, which is what I did when I found out. The problem for me right now is that it's weird that he didn't tell me about it. I understand that it must have been an awkward spot for him, but you'd think he'd want to tell me immediately to avoid a misunderstanding. Besides, it's weird that he cares more about potentially saving my friendship with her than he does making sure he doesn't come off as a cheater. My friends think he hid it from me because he was interested, but I don't think he's that kind of guy. Granted, we've only been dating for 4 months and I still don't know him that well, so anything is possible. What do you guys think? Is it a red flag that he didn't tell me? OP, I don't think it's weird because you guys have just been dating for 4 months and he was probably scared that if he came to you and you confronted your friend, then she would lie about it and, he would have been worse off, right? So I think he's just scared, or he was just scared of telling you because of how you could react. I mean, imagine if your boyfriend of 4 months comes over and tells you that your friend, who you've apparently known for longer, came on to him and he turned her down. You confront your friend and she lies and says that it was the other way around. It's a he said, she said situation, and unless you have proof, like in this case the boyfriend's friend, which thankfully he was there, I would assume that you'd probably believe your friend first, because of the longer relationship, right? And I know that's just my assumption, but it's how I think things would have played out. Maybe your boyfriend thought the same. What do you guys think? What's your theory about why the boyfriend kept quiet about this? Let me know in the comments section, and in the meantime, let's move on to the community comments to see what they had to say. Smiley Canadian says, I wouldn't jump to thinking he's interested in her. He openly shut her down and set boundaries with her. Sounds like he cares a lot about you and didn't want you to lose a friend. He meant well, and there should be no trust issues with him. Going forward, sit down with him and talk. Tell him you appreciate how much he cares about you. However, tell him that in the future, you would rather he told you right away and let you set your own boundaries with this friend too. BD Person says, quote, besides, it's weird that he cares more about potentially saving my friendship with her than he does making sure he doesn't come off as a cheater. End quote. It's actually not at all weird that someone who isn't a cheater isn't concerned about coming off as a cheater. Fondant Safe 4850 says, I think there are several reasons he didn't tell you, and honestly, you've hinted at a couple yourself. He might have thought it would get turned on him. Your friends are already doing that by saying maybe he was interested. That's incredibly unfair. Leading on from that, he might have thought you wouldn't believe him if he did tell you, or he might have genuinely thought he was doing the right thing and protecting your friendship. I don't think he did anything wrong in this. He didn't reciprocate at any point or cause drama. He said no, put a boundary in place and moved on. To him, it was dealt with. Okay, well, the community seems pretty aligned in the fact that the boyfriend has done nothing wrong, he set a boundary, and he was probably scared of what OP might do. I mean, like this last commenter said, OP's friends already think he hid it from OP because he is interested. The good thing is that OP herself says that she doesn't believe he's that kind of guy. In any case, we have an update, so how about we continue with that? So, I told my boyfriend that I understand why he did it and that I get that he wanted to avoid hurting me, but that he doesn't get to make that choice for me. He said he understands that he should have told me, but that he had kind of hoped that she was just having a weird moment and that it wouldn't happen again and we'd avoid the entire thing completely. I told him that from now on, I want him to be upfront with me about this kind of thing. I also told him that if he was worried about if I'm going to believe him over my friend or not, he shouldn't be. Because I honestly suspected that she was into him anyway. I would have definitely believed him. Anyway, I feel like he totally understood where I'm coming from. If anything, this whole thing kinda made us be in on the same page about this type of stuff. I want to thank everyone for their advice, because I was honestly getting paranoid because I've been cheated on before and my friends are kinda cynical, so they expected the worst, which made me do the same. Ironically, because of this whole thing and the talk we had after, I feel like I can trust him more. For now, I'm gonna try to stop assuming the worst. Thanks to everyone who chipped in. And there you go. Communication and honesty pay off once again, and this couple grew. Awesome. Fantastic, OP. So cool that you didn't give in to what your friends were saying and you didn't let your insecurities get the best of you. That you sat down with your boyfriend, you had the conversation about how you felt and what he did and all that. He understood, and now you guys are even closer together. So awesome, OP. All the best to the both of you. And now, let's move on to the next post. This one's from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's from user AITA Mom Uninvited. Am I the a-hole for uninviting my mother from my wedding after she called my wife indecent for having plastic surgery? My 31 male partner of 11 years, Sarah, 32 female, was in a car accident 3 years ago that led to her having scars across her torso, left arm, and jaw. She has been hiding them with makeup, but you could still feel them and they made her very self-conscious. We had talked about her having them removed before we got married, as she admitted she wanted to put off getting married due to them. At Christmas of 2019, I got an unexpected bonus from work, and as we already had a substantial amount set aside for a wedding, I suggested we use the bonus to pay for plastic surgery. This went ahead, and Sarah is now much happier with how she looks. She still wears a bit of makeup to hide a few small lines from the plastic surgery, but they will fade to white with time and be less noticeable. Currently, they're still quite pink. We had been planning for our wedding in October, and she recently went dress shopping with my mother, her mother, and her sister. At the shop, my mother saw the scars and inquired about why they looked so different from her original scars. Sarah explained about the plastic surgery, and then my mother didn't mention it again, so we didn't think it was a big deal. Until yesterday, when I was at my parents' discussing the business Dad and I co-own, and she butted in telling me it was immoral to marry someone as indecent as Sarah, and that it was disgusting that she had plastic surgery, etc, etc, etc. There was a massive argument, and I told her if she was going to talk about Sarah like that, then she wasn't invited to the wedding, at which point she broke down in tears and I left. Now, half my family is pissed at me for uninviting and upsetting her. Am I the a-hole here? No, OP, you are not the a-hole. You stood up for your future wife, and that is what you're supposed to do. Your mom is way off base commenting on what your wife did because she has an opinion or some sort of belief that plastic surgery is immoral. Look, plastic surgery might not be for everyone, but if you want to have it, it's your body, you can do whatever you want with it. Your mom is in the wrong and she needs to apologize, not you. And I would let my family know that they should just butt out, because this is between you, your mom, and your fiance. And like I said, I believe the only outcome should be from your mom apologizing. What about you guys? What do you think about this? What is your judgment? Let me know in the comment section, and let's go check out those community comments to see their judgment. Kettlewise says, not the a-hole. Why isn't your family upset at your mother for saying some truly awful things about the woman you're about to marry? Quote, I think this person is disgusting, but I'm still invited to the wedding, right? End quote. Just no self-awareness. Kunk Lady says, not the a-hole. Good on you for defending your fiancé. Your mom was out of line and would have been even if the plastic surgery wasn't for scarring. Larambi says, no way, stand by your partner. Your mother was way out of line. Not the a-hole. Also, how dare she even act upset about being uninvited to a wedding she considers immoral? If that's how she feels, she should be fine with it. And there you have it. Community judgment is that OP is not the a-hole and that the mom is way out of line. Oh, she was, wasn't she? Anyways, let's move on with the next post. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's from user ProveBreakfast2256. Am I the a-hole for ignoring my mother-in-law after she made an announcement at my wedding? I, female 24, was married recently to my childhood sweetheart, male 24. Pretty small due to COVID, but it was planned well in advance, so we didn't cancel. Just kept it to family, and we plan to have a party with everyone else at a later date. For some background on my husband, his parents had him pretty young, 18 and 19 respectively, and he has a very close family. Our wedding reception was quite intimate, but we had the traditional speeches planned. Father of the bride, best man, husband's brother, groom. It was only the day before that my mother-in-law asked if she could have the mic to say a few words when we sat down to eat. And we said that would be great, but that she would need to go before my husband. Stupidly, we figured she would talk about us at our wedding, so we never asked what she planned to say. Big mistake. Smiley face. She announced that she's expecting a baby. She's still pretty young and very healthy, but it was a huge shock that just completely took over all night. What's even worse for me is that I am also pregnant and we planned to announce it at the wedding. But I told my husband to just leave it out of his speech. Everything felt a bit sour for me after that, so... After the wedding, I didn't speak to my mother-in-law for a few days, and I got a call from her sister, a guest, to ask what was up. I explained that I felt like the attention was taken away from us without our permission. I would have said no, but still. And it was so unfair to spring that on us. Apparently, I ruined my own wedding because I was obviously pissed off about the good news and that I was being totally selfish. Maybe I was, but it was my wedding day that was already ruined by a pandemic. Husband is on my side, though clearly feels a bit uncomfortable telling his mom that. Which I get, as I don't want to have this argument directly with a pregnant woman either. The rest of the family is split down the middle. My side and his. Because it was such a close family event anyway, and we all need some happiness. Now I'm starting to wonder if I overreacted and spoiled everything. Am I the a-hole? No, OP, you are not the a-hole. That was your wedding day. Your mother-in-law knew exactly what she was doing. She intentionally stole the attention from you and your husband on this special day. You have every right to be upset, and her sending her flying monkeys to tell you that you should feel bad for being pissed at her, no, she doesn't get to do that. She could have easily announced her pregnancy any other day because it is still a joyous occasion. And if she gives you that crap that she just took advantage of the moment because all the family was there, yeah, that's still not an excuse, you idiot. Anyway, OP, no, you didn't overreact. You didn't ruin your wedding, she did. Not the a-hole. What do you all think? Do you think OP is in the right here? Let me know in the comment section, and let's continue with the community judgment to see what they had to say. Maximoose777 says, not the a-hole. Just because your mother-in-law is pregnant doesn't mean she isn't an a-hole. Everyone knows that announcing pregnancy or engagement or anything else significant is totally taboo at a wedding. This was not an oversight. You should have continued to announce your own baby news anyway. That would have diluted her news. Congratulations on your wedding and your baby news. Ibetami says, not the a-hole. There are a few unspoken rules about weddings. Don't wear white, don't get engaged, and don't announce a pregnancy. I wouldn't bother to tell her about your own pregnancy. Let her find out from social media or from family gossip. If she makes a stink, just remind her how she clearly needs to focus on her own pregnancy, as she just had to announce it at your wedding. Seabrelms says, not the a-hole. I'm an event lighting technician. I've been to hundreds of weddings running lights. In my 17 years or so doing it, only one time have I seen something similar happen. I think it was the bride's sister that grabbed the mic, announced and declared she was pregnant and had gotten engaged. She made the bride mad enough she had security escort her out of the building. Sadly, I do not have any follow-up on most of the parties I work, but I would assume there was a lot of words in that family the next day. Well, the community is aligned. You just don't do this at somebody else's wedding. There was one person that commented in one of the threads that she should announce her pregnancy on her mother-in-law's baby shower. And the pettiness in me smiled a bit, but I think that depends on how far along OP is, although I think it would be great. Maybe she shouldn't do it and take the high road? What do you guys think about that one? And on that note, let's move on to the next post. And to finish this video, we're gonna go for a post from the subreddit Petty Revenge. And it's from user Bronx Bell. But you swore you weren't sleeping together. This happened like 15 years ago, but still makes me smile sometimes. My now ex-husband and I had split up, and I was moving out of our house. My half-sister moved in the day I moved out. My family was pissed I was getting a divorce and absolutely supported her moving in with him. I said I thought it was weird that my sister and my ex-husband were sleeping together, and my grandmother insisted it wasn't like that. My sister was telling everyone that she was sleeping in the guest room. The problem with that was that the guest room had been turned into a home gym with no room for a bed, and I knew my ex would never give that up. So I dropped it and didn't say anything more, especially after he told me directly they weren't sleeping together. I was there a few months later picking up the rest of my stuff that had been stored in the attic. I walked through the kitchen and see a prescription bottle sitting out. I took a look and lo and behold, it's Valtrex in my husband's name. I started laughing and he asked me what was so funny. My reply? Well, since you swore up and down you weren't sleeping together, I saw no reason to tell you my sister had herpes, and apparently she didn't inform you either. Well, one thing is absolutely certain, OP knows how to keep a secret. Would you categorize this as karma considering OP could have done something? In any case, I believe the saying, play stupid game, win stupid prizes, applies in this case. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I certainly did reading them to you. So if you did, then go ahead and give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a member of our Discord community that just keeps growing, and it is fantastic. And like I said in the beginning of the video, all of the relevant links are in the video description below, so be sure to check them out. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys enjoy this content, so thank you once again. And having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.